I like to have tools that can help me detoxify and cleanse. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about celery seed oil in our Vitality line from Young Living. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness. And of course, this is our discussion of elimination for the month. And within the process or the whole activity of elimination, there is cleansing and detoxifying. I mean, that's part of what elimination is. It is cleansing and detoxifying the body. And so the tissues are dumping. There's all these toxins coming out. They have to go somewhere. We need those to come out of the body. And of course, the liver and the kidneys are involved in processing toxins. And then those toxins flush out through the bowel, kidney and bowel as well. So anything that can help us with this moving the stuff out, which is to say cleansing or detoxifying, is something we could lean on and use for this month. And one of the products that I've chosen is this celery seed oil. Now, as an essential oil, now I'm going to clarify that when you hear of seed oil, like sunflower seed oil or canola oil or whatever, those are pressed oils from a seed that we use as a food, like a fatty oil. When we talk about celery seed oil or fennel oil, those are coming from seeds, but they're distilled. So they're very, very different, completely different chemistry involved in that. So essential oils, when they're distilled, are small molecules, aromatic molecules. And so when you smell this, it's very strong aromatic. Right, has a very strong aromatic smell, and so the small aromatic molecules are it's distilled and then condensed and what's in this bottle. Compare that to a seed oil, like I'm talking about sunflower seed oil that we would use as a food. It doesn't have much of a smell. There's not an aromatic. All the molecules are larger fatty molecules. Now they're both fat. Technically, they're both considered lipids, but obviously we see that difference. So this time we're talking about this celery seed, and there's a lot of herbal qualities for celery seed. In fact, one of them for the ground celery seed as just the seed itself, the whole seed, is helpful to help the body clear urea. So it's one of these things that helps the kidneys. And so that's one of the reasons I've chosen the essential oil version of this, is that it's going to be helpful for the kidneys to detoxify and flush out the toxins. And it doesn't matter. I'm not talking necessarily, it's good for basic metabolic metabolic toxins, like urea, for example, rather than necessarily talking about lead and mercury and that kind of thing. Although it probably is, might even be helpful in that area, but I don't know. What I'm saying is as a general cleanser and a detoxifier. Now, this is a vitality oil, and so it's designed to be taken internally. And I've explained this before, but I want to just clarify. The Young Living, because of the FDA requirements, was required to make a distinction between an essential oil that's used as a supplement and an essential oil that's used topically as a cosmetic. There's no difference between the two oils. The content, the oil itself is exactly the same, but the label is different. And so in this case, when we have a oil in a bottle that's labeled as a supplement, we must talk about it as a supplement. So in this case, we would not be talking about using this aromatically, because I'm showing you this bottle here. I wouldn't talk about it using aromatically or topically. So I'm going to talk about taking it internally, and this would be something when we're taking our KMB tincture and doing our 2 squirts twice a day of the KMB tincture, depending, of course, on my taste issues, that I might put 3 drops of this in that water as I'm mixing it up, or juice or whatever I'm using. Now this stuff is actually pretty strong, so probably a little easier to take it in a capsule. And some people will say, well, how much should I put? How often? I'm doing half a capsule twice a day, just to kind of really ease into it and see how that goes. You could always just do half a capsule, which is to say about 4 or 5 drops once a day, and then see how you feel. Drinking lots of water and all the rest of it. So I want to make a comment or two. I've made this statement several times, is, when I say try it and see how you feel. Well, that requires that you have some increased body awareness, right? That you're not just ignoring all of your body's signals. Now, there are some really easy body signals that you can look at and monitor that don't require a heavy duty body awareness kind of, oh wow, I feel my physiology. You can just basically monitor how much you're peeing and how does the pee smell. And so if you start taking and how it feels. Sometimes the pee burns. And so for me, I know when I'm detoxing, one of the first early signs that I'm detoxing is that I start having frequent urine, more frequent urination, and the urine is stronger. It has a darker color, and it has a different odor. Now, if you're familiar with eating asparagus, that's going to change your urine, and it's going to smell stronger. So there has to be a balance in there. If you've got a reason, like you just ate a bunch of asparagus, you're going to have your urine smell different. So you kind of have to gauge that. But as you take a supplement like this, and you're kind of like, well, I don't know. And if it pushes you too hard, well, how does that mean? Well, I mean, if I have low back pain, kidney pain, and I'm drinking a whole ton of water and I'm thirsty, well, I might be detoxing too fast. There's too much, pushing too much through. On the other hand, if I take that half a capsule and I don't feel anything, and I'm drinking my water and I'm doing my stuff, then I might take the second half a capsule at the later on in the day. So I'm just helping you understand that when I say kind of take it and see how you feel, it does require some effort on your part to pay attention and to know what's going on. That skill, and it is a skill, it's a learnable skill. That skill is enhanced, or this entire program, this wellness program, is designed to help enhance that skill with the breathing that we're doing, the intentional breathing, the massage, being aware of your structure, being aware of your posture. These are all things that increase your body awareness. Also, as you start to get more well and the body starts to, in a way, your relationship with your body is one of trust and respect rather than ignore and neglect. And so you kind of build that renewed that relationship. I know that sounds kind of weird, but since we're a whole person. But that's been my experience is when I've ignored a part of my body, it's that knee over there rather than my knee. And so if we've had a tendency to think of our body as that body, then we don't improve. We're not working toward becoming more aware. So it's important to be whole, to be complete, to integrate all of our body parts. And that's what I mean when I talk about this breathing and do that. So I encourage you to continue working with this and increase that skill for self-awareness, because when we start talking about things like cleansing, and I'll get back to the celery seed in a minute, but that it becomes, that's the skill you're looking for to know what it's doing in your body. You feel your body's response and you go, oh, that's a good response, or ooh, that's too much right now. And as you do more of these wellness practices, you'll get better at that. Okay, now let me just talk a little bit about the chemistry of this essential oil celery seed. Like I said, herbally or traditionally it's used for helping support the cleansing process, both for kidneys and liver actually. And it is, like I said, it's got an odor. It's a pretty strong taste and odor. So it might be a little hard to put in water. And that's okay to put in a capsule. Now, the content of it is surprisingly 70% limonene. And you might be familiar with the word limonene, but it's one of those that's found in lemon oil and frankincense. And so if you think about frankincense, lemon oil, and this celery seed, they don't smell similar at all. You might think that if it's limonene, 70% limonene, it would smell very lemony. But in this case, it does not, as we can tell with frankincense as well. But because it's limonene, and it's that between the 70% limonene and the about 20, as much as 20%, I'm going to have to get this word, I'm going to read it because it's, I'll probably not pronounce it right. It's selenine, alpha and beta selenine. And so it's probably those other compounds like the selenine, which I'd never heard of before, starts to add those extra odors to this whole thing and makes it smell extremely different than anything you've probably smelled. So the nice thing about it is, according to the safety data, it is extremely non-toxic, safe for pregnancy, no contraindications. There's, the LD50s on this for rats are tremendously high. So there's not likely that you're going to have any kind of toxicity levels associated with this oil. And so it's, again, a very, very safe oil to take. I seriously doubt that you're going to have a reaction to the oil in as much as you would that the body is reacting to what the oil is helping it with. In other words, you might have a detox reaction from what the oil is helping to mobilize or clear toxins or whatever, however it works, but it's not going to be the oil itself that is causing the problem. Extremely non-toxic, so very safe in that regard. So the basic situation or premise with this celery seed, again, as an herbal cleanser, really good for the kidneys. So as we take this oil, my breathing system, I breathe in and send it. I like to just, when I'm taking a supplement, I like to use the breath to send it where it needs to go. And so as I breathe in, I might send it to the liver and send it to the kidneys and have the oil, in my imagination, I mean, it's obviously it's going to go in and break open the stomach, go through the bloodstream. But with my intention, I'm going to invite it to go and do that. Okay, so that's just a little bit about cleansing and a little bit about the celery seed oil. And we'll be using that for the rest of this month. So I'm assuming you've got your stuff by now for the program. Myself, I'm started the 5-day nutritive cleanse for this week. So been kind of starting to try to figure out how that's going to work into my schedule. So those of you, if you're already doing it, you know what I mean. It's kind of like, oh, this is a little bit different. And I just said I was going to do it, but I just kind of, it just jumped in. So that's kind of how you have to do it sometimes. Sometimes you just have to jump in. And this is one of those things that is just going to help in that process as we go through our various cleansing and elimination focus for the month. So we'll keep going one day at a time. Happy wellness.